Hi guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Project Charisma with me, Ed Darling. Thank you for joining me yet again here in my lovely booth. So today I want to talk to you about pushing your communication skills comfort zone. This was inspired by a conversation I had yesterday with a prospect that rang me up and was divulging the anxiety that they were experiencing in different situations, in training rooms, in one-on-ones, in networking events. And I asked them, what have you done so far to try to help this? And they had some answers. And what they told me was they have tried to reduce their caffeine intake, they have tried herbal teas, they have tried supplements. Now, I am a proponent of all these things, right? Try it, see if it works for you. I've done most of these myself. There's definitely a place for them. But these are all things to reduce anxiety. And that is only one half of the scale, because at the same time, we also need to be doing things to proactively increase our confidence, right? Think of this as trying to save yourself into becoming a millionaire without ever thinking about increasing your revenue or increasing your paycheck, okay? You can only save so much. There's a limiting return on that, whereas creating more, increasing your confidence, there is an exponential room for growth there. It's scalable. So we need to be doing both of these things. Hence why the topic today is pushing your communication skills comfort zone. I couldn't have picked more of a mouthful if I tried, but we're going to go with it. So comfort zones are an interesting thing because they are very unique to each person. One person's comfort zone might mean stepping onto stage in front of 5,000 people. For another person, pushing their comfort zone might mean stepping outside their front door. There's no right or wrong. But what is important is understanding where your line is drawn, right? Whereabout is that fault line for you, which stepping beyond means that you're outside of your comfort zone. And wherever that line is, ideally you want to have one foot over it and one foot on the other side. You want to be straddling the line of your comfort zone. One foot in the chaos, one foot in order. This, by the way, if you've ever seen the Zen symbol, right, with the two fish, this is the philosophical meaning behind that as well. It's order and chaos. And the idea is that in between both, the balance of these two things is where we find the most growth and where we find the most ability to tap into our true selves as human beings, reach our potential. And so it's the same thing with your comfort zone, right? You don't want to go crazy and push yourself into a TED Talk if you've never done any public speaking before, but neither do you want to stay still. You want to find that sweet spot where you are straddling that line. So without further ado, let me give you 5 ideas for ways in which you can start expanding your communication skills comfort zone. These are 5 things that I have tried myself personally, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one. So, number 1 is to attend an improv class. I did this a few years ago while I was in Edinburgh, and I heard about an improv class happening one night, went along. It was a dark club with a small stage, about 30 people, and if you want to take part, you have to put your name in a hat. So, of course, put my name in the hat. Halfway through the night, my name gets called out along with a few other people. You have to come and step on stage. The lights are kind of in your eyes. It's a bit blinding. You know, you can see the audience waiting. A hush settles. And then the organizer shouts out some random words. Jewelry, the Queen, and that's it. You have to just start making it up as you go. And we created this what I thought was a very fun scene about a jewelry heist gone wrong, these robbers, this ridiculous situation. And we got some laughs from the audience, and it was a lot of fun. The best thing about improv is that it forces you to trust your instincts, right? You don't have time to think about what you're going to say. You don't have time to analyze, shall I do this or shall I do that? You just have to go with it, right? The audience are there, they're waiting. There's no time to start to think and ponder. And that's why it's such a great skill for life, because so often the problem that people have when they're asked a question or they are asked to stand up and speak is that we get into this analysis paralysis, when what we need to do is jump in that river, metaphorically, and let those rapids take you downstream wherever you're going to go, and let yourself go with the river rather than trying to fight against it. This is kind of like the analogy I use for getting more comfortable in improv situations. So, number 1, get yourself to an improv class. You'll have a great time and you will develop some amazing skills. Number 2 is to challenge yourself to go live on social media. Now, for some people, even Posting might feel like a challenge on social media, but it is far more difficult, let me tell you, ladies and gents, to hit that live button and start expressing yourself for the entire world to see. Or what is more likely the case, your nan, your auntie, a few friends from high school, maybe a couple of colleagues, right? That's the more likely audience that you're going to get. But it feels like you're putting yourself out into the world because technically anyone could join and start watching you. But what a great way to, again, learn to trust yourself, learn to take a step outside of your comfort zone and do it, from the comfort of your own home. So if you've never gone live on Facebook before, don't overthink the content, right? Share a story, share some tips. If you have a business, it's a great way to promote yourself. You'll generally get good feedback from people and a positive reaction, but regardless, you will take away that extra level of confidence in your communication skills. Number 3 is to memorize your favorite poem or monologue. Now, as an actor, I've done quite a lot of this, and what I have learned in my years is that memorization is a skill. And when I was going to acting classes week in, week out, you could be given a 3-page script, and within 20 minutes, it's memorized, it's in there. And then you get up in front of the class and you recite it back with your partner, and it's easy. But miss a few weeks, miss a few months, you get that same script, suddenly, very hard for those lines to stick inside your head. Now, when I'm working with people and they are trying to deliver a speech, or they've got a big presentation coming up, they often struggle with this aspect of memorization. And so they have to fall back on either notes or bullet points or whatever. Now, that's fine. There's no problem doing it like that. But if you've got the ability to memorize even kind of, say, the first couple of minutes and the last couple of minutes, you get the benefit of both. You get the benefit of having a really polished, precise opening and conclusion with the improv spontaneity in the middle. And that, I think, is the best balance of both. So if you can practice learning a monologue, learning a poem, trusting your ability to memorize lines, it can give you the confidence to try that in a speech or a presentation. Number 4 is to host a workshop. So the reason why I picked this one is because hosting workshops really helped me to boost my confidence. I remember doing my first ever public speaking workshop solo. I used to do it with my colleague Dan. We kind of do a bit of a double act, which helped. And then one day I had to do one by my own. And I sat in my car before going into the college where these year 12 students were waiting at lunchtime for me to come and talk to them. And I felt really nervous. And I didn't really want to step outside. And I had to take a few deep breaths and really encourage myself that it would be okay. And of course it was. And the benefit of delivering a workshop is that rather than speaking, you are facilitating. And the distinction there is that you don't have to hold attention for the entire time, right? You get to stand up for a few minutes, introduce a topic, introduce something that you're going to be learning about, and then throw it back out to the audience and get them to start engaging or doing the legwork. And at that point, you can take a few minutes to rest and relax and calm yourself down. Then you get everyone's attention again, and once again you're holding court, you're holding attention, you're being the center of attention, and then again you throw it back out to them. And this back and forth allows you to quickly accumulate a lot of stage time without the perhaps overwhelming idea of having a full 20-minute keynote presentation where it's all on you for the entire time. So hosting a workshop can be a fantastic midway point to delivering a full speech. So that's number 4. Number 5, and this might sound like a hard sales pitch, but believe me, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this, is to attend a professional training event. A course, a workshop, a coaching program, whatever it is. The reason I have to mention this is because it is one of the best ways to push your communication skills comfort zone. The reason for that is, well, I can only talk in my own perspective, but the masterclass that I have put together is an opportunity to practice all of these things back to back in a very precisely guided way in one intensive day. So you get thrown into improv, you get thrown into doing some acting work, you get thrown into doing some networking and pitching skills, and then you get thrown into preparing and delivering an actual speech. And so you get to take all of these steps in quick succession, guided, coached, and kind of taken along the journey in a more careful way. And that can be truly transformative for people. I've seen it many times where people, they arrive feeling one way, and by the end of the day they leave just in a completely different place in terms of their confidence and their skills. So there are many ways to push your communication skills comfort zone. You can go out there and do it all by yourself, absolutely no problem. But if you do want to do it in a more efficient, more effective manner, then sometimes it's worth making that investment and committing yourself to getting some training. With that said, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this content. Please get yourself out there. Don't sit on your laurels. Find that sweet spot between order and chaos, between comfort and discomfort, and spend time in that position. And if you do so, your confidence will expand, your skills will expand, and your life will open up. So that's my thoughts today. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts or feedback, and I will see you next time.